March was a crazy reading month where quantity trumped quality. So let's do a speed wrap up and talk shortly about the books that I have read and also DNF'd. Let's start with the DNFs. My first DNF was the Zodiac Academy, book 1. I did not like the writing style, I did not like the writing, I did not like the characters. It's about two twins who get taken into this world where they have to finish a school in order to get their inheritance, and it's about magic and all that. I don't know the rest. Next one I DNF'd was Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. It's about Karu, our main character, who has been basically working for this guy, Brimstone, and he sends her out to gather these things for her, mainly human teeth as well, and she brings them back, and there's magic, there's angels, there's a lot of stuff going on. I did not like how insta-lovey it was. Everything else seemed fine. I liked the setting, and just in general, I enjoyed the characters. I did not like the insta-love. Wicked was not a DNF, it was a pass. I started it, I did not get that much into it, so I just decided it's not gonna be for me. I bought this book because I want to have it on my shelf because it's Wicked. I went to see the actual show. I'm not talking about the movie, I just went to see the show, and I am obsessed with musicals, so it's just something that I want on my shelves. I will not be reading it. Then we have a book that I bought at Yelk, On Silver Tides by Sylvia Bishop. Our main character, Kelda, has a sister who cannot breathe underwater, and their entire family can, so that puts them all in danger. I passed on it because it's not, I'm currently into romance. I'm not into family books, identity, whatever. So I'm giving this to my sister. And all of those were my DNFs. Now let's talk about the books that I actually finished. These are gonna be ordered based on how I read them. Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. This was my first book. I rated 3.75 stars. I did enjoy it. I had mixed feelings if I'm gonna continue because I didn't hear the best reviews. I loved the romance in this. I thought they were so cute. I think I will continue. I just won't buy the next book until I read an audiobook or something. This book is €13 and I don't want to invest or waste €13 if I end up hating the next book. It's about two rivals in wartime, but it's a war between gods, who share this magic typewriter, and every time they write a letter to each other and slip it under the door, they get a letter from each other. So wherever they are in the world, they can get letters from each other with these typewriters. And it's really cute, and they're journalists. Next book is This Ratchet Valley by Jenny Kiefer. I have wanted to read a horror book, and so this book perfectly sums up the last TV show watched prompt that I had, and honestly it was so good. It was kind of like magical realism mixed with horror, mixed with like magic. It was very graphic, and I mean very graphic. So if you're not into graphic horror, you will not like it. I rated it 3.5 stars. It is about this group of people who go to these mountains to explore, to climb and research. It's a trip of a lifetime. They think it's gonna make their careers, but it all ends up going horribly wrong because they get separated because of the ghosts. They have hallucinations. They're just spirits, demons, whatever you want to call them. They have to get out of the forest as soon as possible, but the forest also doesn't want to let them leave. Book number 3 is Date Me Like You Mean It by R.S. Gray. R.S. Gray writes a lot of standalone books. They're really cute. This one I rated 3.75 stars. She's one of my favorite contemporary romance authors just because she has all of these tropes, but after a while a lot of them just end up like they're all the same. I remember that the title makes you think like they're fake dating, but they're not really fake dating. I don't remember much about the characters. So then I picked up The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. I read Prince Caspian and Dawn of the Voyage Treader. The first one, Prince Caspian, I rated 3.25 stars. Dawn of the Voyage Treader was a 3.5 star read. Both of them were rereads, and I don't really have that many thoughts. I know I rated them down than what I used to rate them on the first read. Dawn of the Voyage Treader is probably one of my favorites out of all of them. Moving on to book number 6, What Lies Beyond the Veil by Harper L. Woods. I rated 3.75 stars. What kept it from being a 4-star read is the fact that there are some scenes that were really rushed, just action scenes. It felt like we were being told very briefly what was going to happen. It wasn't the type of writing where you could immerse yourself in the story. It wasn't very graphic. You were just told, oh, this is what happened, this is what happened at some parts. It's about this girl who lived in a mortal world where the humans were separated from the Fae by a veil, a magical veil. When that veil drops in because of one sacrifice or something, all of the humans that were chosen as mates during the time the veil was up have these marks that become visible because the veil is no longer there, so they are their mates, and all of the Fae are looking for their mates while the humans are hunting them, because if the Fae gets in contact with their mate, the Fae become more powerful. So that's why the humans want them dead, because they see the Fae as dangerous to the humans. And so our girl Estrella, she makes this friend who is also marked as her, and the majority of this book is camping, is them traveling and then being picked up by, I think, rebels or something, and then they have this undeniable attraction. Book 7, Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Both of these I read for my Reading Romantasy for an entire week video, if you want to check that out. Powerless, I rated 2 stars. It was interesting at first, then it just felt like it was a rip-off of The Hunger Games Games, The Red Queen, The Selection, just a bunch of other books. I am probably gonna continue with Reckless just because I want to see if the second book is more original, just out of curiosity. I will not buy the second book, but I will continue. There was a plague in this world, and whoever survived it was left with magical powers, and they are called the Elites. Every year they have this contest or something, trial, where they fight to the death, kind of like the Hunger Games, except in this book it doesn't really make sense. What are they fighting for? In the Hunger Games, at least, Snow wanted the Hunger Games to be a reminder for people that they should not retaliate. In this book, it doesn't make sense. Fading Grey, she basically enters, but she's an ordinary. She doesn't have any powers, so she has to survive. There are two princes, and yeah, whatever. Like I said, The Red Queen, the Elites ripoff. Next up, we have Quicksilver by Callie Hart. It is my only 4-star read of the month. It's about our main character, Saris Fane, who is a human caught stealing from the Queen, is about to die, and somehow she summons this guy, Kingfisher. He tells her that she's an alchemist. He needs her to make weapons in order to fight in a war. And she's the only one who can make these magical weapons, basically. I'm looking forward to book 2 because this has left me wanting a little bit. It didn't have exactly what I was looking for, but it was still fun. Then we have a book that I struggled to read, Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. Just as a disclaimer, I only struggled for the first 120 pages. After that, I binge read it immediately. This is the third book in the Fourth Wing series, so it's about our main character Violet and Xaden and a bunch of dragons in this upcoming war or whatever. My only problem was that we did not have many Xaden and Violet scenes. A lot of the book, they stayed away from each other. I wanted more, so I rated it 3.75 stars. That's why it was not a 4-star read. I skipped the book, The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. It's about our girl Aurea, who is a human. Again, everyone is human. A human in a world of vampires. She was brought up by a vampire lord, competing again in these trials, which I feel like all of these books are basically trials. The Kijari, whatever. And strikes an alliance with two people. One of them is Rain, and they hit it off, kind of. All the vampires also have magic, so that's that, and she's at a disadvantage, but it's fun. I like this. I enjoyed this one. I rated it 3.75 stars, and I will continue on. Book number 11 was The Andromeda Strain. I rated it 2 stars. I'm currently watching the miniseries, which, oh my god, so many actors that I know. It is written by the same author who wrote Jurassic Park. It's about a deadly virus that left an entire town dead, and a group of scientists who have to figure out what happened, how to stop it, because they are basically, it came from outer space, and it is nothing they have ever seen before. I rated it 2 stars. It was fine. I just did not like the writing style. Book number 12, Hotshot Doc by R.S. Gray. Again, another reread. It's about a doctor and a nurse who are paired together in a weird circumstances, and they end up working together really well and fall in love. Rated 3 stars. This was also a reread. Book number 13, another reread, is Artificial Condition by Martha Wells. Second or third book in the Murderbot series. I'm trying to read them to catch up to The Network Effect, which is where I left off, and I rated it 3.5 stars. It was decent. It was nice. I really liked Art. Art is one of the characters inside that is also a robot. Then we have Baby for the Boss Hole, which is basically about an assistant and a boss, and eventually they accidentally make a baby. It's in the second half of the book. Even though the title says Baby for the Boss Hole, it's in the second half of the book. I rated 3 stars. It was fine. Just left me a little bit lacking again. Book number 15 is Rogue Protocol. It was cute, but again, 3 stars. It was a reread. I just didn't reconnect with this one. Book number 16, another reread. We have a lot of rereads. One Moment Please by Amy Doss. I rated 3.25 stars. Again, this is a pregnancy trope. I don't know why I reread it. I just wanted to switch from all the romantasy and fantasy to something just very light, because I did read a lot of long books. So I rated 3.25 stars. It was fine. Again, it wasn't enough to make me go, oh my god, wow, I love this book. The first time I read it, it was a 5-star read. No, it was a 4-star read, something like that. It's about this girl, about a doctor who kind of, their lives intertwine when they end up sleeping together. She gets pregnant, and yeah, he ends up announcing the news to her when she goes to the hospital for a checkup or something. Book number 17 is Exit Strategy, another book in the Murderbot Diary series. I rated 3.5 stars, another reread, and I think I finally caught up. I also read Compulsory, which is a 0.5 novella. So short, it was fine. The final book that I read is Lost at Sea by John Wukowitz, which is a non-fiction read, and it's about this World War II pilot who, or World War I, his plane ends up crashing along with a few other people, and they spend days on the sea waiting to be rescued. I actually really loved it. I didn't rate it because I don't rate non-fiction books, but this was fun. I mean, not fun, but I loved the writing style. It was so informative. I think that concludes my my wrap-up. 19 books in March. It was fun. I can only hope in April that I can read as much. I really need more high ratings because everything ended up being 3.5, 3.75. Just one book had a 4-star read, but still, this is my favorite read of the month. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Click the subscribe button if you haven't yet, and follow me on Instagram if you want live updates.